Hi everyone, welcome to Kristi Peterson and Angie Montgomery. Being here with you are both psychic mediums, and this is our second show, and we're so excited to be here with you.
Yes, our second one. So we're still kind of getting our sea legs here of how to make all of this work.
Yeah.
So, what we want to do is start out today just talking about some spirituality, because we get reoccurring questions, repeating questions over and over and over, and so we want to address some of those questions, and then we will answer your questions and give readings as Spirit talks to us. Hope that sounds good to everybody.
It sounds good to me. That's what we do every day. This is our everyday life. So welcome to our worlds, everybody.
Yeah.
Like Kristi said, we chose a topic today that we both see a lot in our separate businesses. So we do some work together, but we each have our own separate psychic medium, Reiki businesses as well. And one of the things that we really have people come to us for a lot of times is clarity. When you think about a reading, it's great to hear from loved ones. People love that. I love sharing that. I know Kristi does too. But there's usually a reason why someone kind of feels the nudge to come to us. And usually it's because they're trying to make a decision. And sometimes it's a hard decision. Sometimes it's something that might change their life or shake things up in their world, or something that maybe they're just kind of afraid of. And so we chose a topic today of bravery. And we thought that'd be a really great topic today to really look at bravery from a spiritual perspective. Because if there's those of you out there listening, you choose to come here because you're in the spiritual realm in some way, right? And so we talk about spirit guides and angels and loved ones kind of guiding the way. They're there to catch us. And I know I've had times in my life where I needed to be brave, and it was so important that I chose to be brave, because I knew down deep inside somewhere in my intuition that this was the path that I was meant to take, even if it was scary or I didn't know how exactly it was going to go. I knew during certain pivotal moments in my life that I needed to choose that. And one of the things when I was moving out of state, I want to use that as an example for when I chose bravery at one point in my life about 10 years ago. I felt the nudge to move out of the state that I live in, and I didn't know a single soul where I was going. I was 8 hours away from home. And I've been praying on it a lot and talking to God when I would walk on the trails. And this message came from him about bravery to me. And what I heard him tell me is being brave is walking down a path even though no one else is on it. And I loved that because I wanted to pave my own path so deeply. I wanted to live my authentic life. And so when you think about bravery, what is that thing that you want to do in your life that you haven't done yet? What are your thoughts on bravery or being brave?
Well, and sometimes I get confused with bravery versus stupid. Because
That's so good.
at 22 years old, I was freshly divorced, and I decided the state of South Dakota was not big enough for my ex-husband and me, so I got in my car, packed everything I owned in my car, and started driving. And I got 4 speeding tickets in 4 days in South Dakota, Wyoming, Montana, and Idaho. And I tell people I drove till I ran out of land, and I ended up in San Francisco. And I always tell people that's where I grew up, because I had either the stupidity or the bravery to completely leap out of my comfort zone. And it ended up being the most beautiful move ever. And then there's been lots of other ones along the way too. After 30 years in the corporate world, I was in the parking lot one day and I saw everybody going into the building looking like zombies. And it's like, I can't do this another day. And so I resigned and opened my own business, which was a complete failure for 10 years. I couldn't quite let go. My ego was in the way and wouldn't let me let go of it. So I hung on to this kind of a failure for 10 years. And then another big, huge step of bravery was to sell that business and go public as a psychic medium. So, we have those choices all along our life. And I always say that those opportunities, I said, you can choose to be a victim, you can choose to be a survivor, or you can choose to be a thriver. And I think one of the biggest acts of courage is to thrive rather than settle for being a victim or being a survivor.
And when we talk about, I love that, because you're right. Sometimes we do things and we look back and we're like, why did I do that? So there's definitely like either a nudge from spirit, this is on my path, or like, I'm just feeling like I'm going to do this and I don't really know why, right? So that is very good point.
Follow the gut.
Yeah. And sometimes even when we do follow our intuition and we do follow our gut, sometimes it doesn't lead us down a path that we think it's going to. Because I've had plenty of those moments in my life too, of like, I think this is going to be what this is going to bring me. And then you get a shake up and it's like not exactly what we thought. But looking back, when you have some perspective on it, all those times that you do choose to be brave, and even if it doesn't turn out to be exactly what you hoped for, thought it would be, there's so much lesson and good stuff in that. Because when I go back to my like trip to another state and living there, I moved back very quickly because I found I didn't like it. And it was like such a good learning lesson for me, because when I moved back home, I've never felt that unsettledness like I had before, that maybe I didn't quite want to be here. Do I love it here? Do I not? That was like a check mark off my list, and I never looked back. So I think sometimes we can have disappointments when we are brave, and then people feel afraid to be brave again. And so that's the part of resiliency and choosing a brave path no matter what, right? Mm-hmm. Like no matter if this time that I chose to be brave, it turned out for me or not. You got to keep showing up when you get those nudges. And sometimes the harder path is the most spiritually rich path. That's one of the things that I found. I mean, I've cultivated my faith and my perseverance and my resilience and my bravery through not always the easy times, but the times that I took a leap of faith and it didn't work out, or the times that I did and it did work out. What taught me more? Probably the leaps of faith that I took, where I kind of felt like I was falling more than flying sometimes.
I always tell people I accuse my spirit guides of drinking. And I'll look at them sometimes, are you at the bar again? Really? Because some of the things that they ask me to do, it's like, oh my God, I can't believe it. But I've learned now, no matter what, do what they're telling me to do, and it turns out every time. It can be considered a failure, can be considered a wrong turn, but it brought me here, and it brought you here as well. Yeah. And it's the most joyous journey you will ever take in your whole life, is the journey to you.
Absolutely.
And most people don't have the courage to do that because they think it's scary. Yeah. And it's okay. Oh, we got some hellos. Okay. Hi. Oh, hello, everyone. Terry, hello. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. Yeah, let me know if your spirit guides drink too. Hi, Dean. Thank you. Oh, he's from Scotland. Yay. There's a Scotland, Nebraska too, I think.
Is there?
I'm guessing it's not Scotland, Nebraska. Hi, Janice.
Thank you all for joining us. We're so happy to be here with all of you. Hi,
Taylor. Yay.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
Donnie, thank you. Yeah, you guys, it means so much to us to have you guys here. Hi, Sarah. We feed off of the energy. Hi, Sheldon. Hi, Sheldon. We feed off the energy that you guys send through to us, and it helps spirit come through a little bit clearer, and it just gives us energy too. So, hi, Kay. We really appreciate your comments. Hi, Tony. And just giving up your time to listen to us. Hey, yes. Pamela.
Yeah. And I'm sure even as we were chatting there for a minute, you can probably think of times in your own life too where you had to be brave. And there's different kinds of bravery in different areas in life. But I think it's important, if you want to be on a spiritual path, choose yourself. Like Kristi said, choose what's the highest good for you, and just live life fearlessly. I think that's one of the things as mediums that I hear a lot in sessions from the other side, is that they maybe have some regrets, maybe opportunities or things that they always want to do that they didn't take. And I think we are still here, and we get to every day wake up and like choose to live that courageous life.
Yeah.
Hi, Dee.
So yeah, let us know if you guys have questions. Go ahead and type those in, because we'd love to answer your questions. And then if we get a hit from the other side, we will certainly give you that information as well.
Yeah, we'd love to answer any questions you have spiritually, anything that we can help you with in your life, mediumship, any of that. And we will do some readings as well, whoever we feel kind of guided to and tuned into.
Yeah. Hi, June. That was my mother's middle name. Yay. Hi, Shauna. Okay, because I was going to say something about being brave. Oh, making a joke one time. someone at a party, someone said, okay, what was your most embarrassing moment? I'm like, well, you got to pick a category because there's so many of them. And I think that's part of being brave too, is risking being vulnerable and risking being truly you, knowing, not knowing how people are going to react to it. They could judge you, they could make fun of you, they could do all those things, but it's still you being absolutely you. And it might feel embarrassing, but I'm telling you what, it's claiming another piece of who you are.
Yes.
And it can be embarrassing at times and
uncomfortable. I think uncomfortable being authentic, right? And really showing ourselves. I think that's why not everybody chooses that authentic path and that brave path, because it's vulnerable.
We've got a question from Jade. It says, outer body experience, what is this? That's really a wonderful question, because, and I'm getting right now that you actually have had a few out of body experiences. You might not be remembering them. My experience with that is we actually all have them every single night. Our body needs rest, but our soul and our spirit does not. So when at night when you're sleeping, your soul will leave your body, and that's an out of body experience, and it'll be out, traveling around, doing what it needs to do. And that, because I'm sure some of you, after you've gone to sleep, all of a sudden you get that jerk, and you wake up. That's your soul entering your body again. What happens then? Everybody does that typically at night or during a nap, something like that. But you can learn how to do that consciously as well. And you've heard maybe about the silver cord, which is typically attached to about the navel area of your body. And that is attached to your soul. So as your spirit or your soul leaves your body, you'll see that silver cord. And it's just basically kind of leaving your body behind temporarily while your soul is out floating around having other experiences. And people get scared of it, thinking that they're going to die. That is not an out-of-body experience. That's death. So an out-of-body experience just means you're now conscious of your soul leaving your body, and it'll snap right back in with that silver cord, will not let you leave forever unless it's your time to transition.
You can also, like you said, do that consciously, even through meditation or meditative states. That's where a lot of times when you meditate, and for those of you who might get visions, things like that, a lot of times like you're lifting up out of your body and you're entering more of that sacred space spiritually. And it's the best feeling, and it's so peaceful. And that's where a lot of people, if you've ever heard of journeys or shamanism, where you journey, it's kind of like an out-of-body experience as well, more consciously. And then astral travel at night, many people do that who are very spiritual. And I find a lot of my clients will tell me, I'm so exhausted when I wake up. And it's because they're not really resting. They're doing things right on the astral plane and different realms. And so, or really interesting dreams or things that they just can't quite figure out. A lot of us do have those experiences as well.
And Jade, I am getting very strongly that you are starting to open up to these out-of-body experiences. I'm not quite sure whether you've had one consciously, but exactly what Angie just said, you wake up in the morning feeling like something's different, something feels kind of weird. And that's because that veil is thinning between this world and that world for you. And it's what I'm getting is that the spirit world is waiting for you to give permission, so you can remember that you have had out-of-body experiences. And when that happens, typically you go to different dimensions and do the soul work that you're here to do before you pop back into that body. So spirit is waiting for you to give permission to remember your out-of-body experiences.
And I also get with that, Jade, that you have a grandma that's with you on the other side in heaven that just kind of wants to encourage you that you don't have to be afraid of it. And I keep hearing the words like letting go, the letting go part. And so when you're kind of to that place, a lot of us that we, even if you're meditating, whatever it might be, and you kind of feel yourself lifting up, and it gets really peaceful. Sometimes your hands go numb. Sometimes you can't really feel your body because you're really not in your body anymore. She's kind of telling me to try the meditation, and like, if you get worried or you want to hold yourself back into your body, just take a deep breath and just let it go and just allow yourself to like lift up. And sometimes people will have those spiritual experiences for 10 seconds. Sometimes people will be in that state for 20 minutes. It's really, everybody's different, but I feel like she just kind of wants to be your guide for you with that.
Let you know it's safe.
Yes.
All right. Richard, we're ready for the next question.
And I'm going to Yeah, we're ready for the next question. I'm going to hop in real quick because I
Okay.
have a gentleman over to my right, Richard, that really wants to come through. So I'm going to switch things up a little bit. I have a father that's been standing next to me that really wants to communicate with his daughter. And I'm feeling she's younger. So I'm saying maybe 20s, early 30s. I feel like she's going through a lot in life right now, making some life decisions. I keep getting a relationship has really been on her mind. So anyone who can claim that, just from even that, you let us know. I'm gonna keep going though. So I feel like this girl that I'm seeing is really kind of what it feels like to me on the inside is maybe a little bit frenzied, like trying to really get a grasp or a handle on her life and the direction she wants it to head. So it feels like there's a lot going on around her. I feel a sense of kind of like anxiety. And I feel like he would have passed younger because I do see him as a younger man. 40s or so is how he looks to me right now. And there's this sense of just giving her a big hug, like needing her to know he's got you, he's got your back. He literally was tapping in so strong here and wants to get to her. And I feel like he was a sense of he's a sense of like stability for her. So I think that's why he's also wanting to come through. She needs to just keep walking her path a little bit before making any decisions. That's the guidance that I'm getting. That you don't really have to know everything right now to be able to just make good decisions for yourself in the moment. And I even see like the word outcome is in my head really strong from him. So she's wanting a sense of an outcome. She's wanting a sense of knowing kind of what is going to be happening going forward. And he's saying, it's okay, honey. Like, you don't have to know right now. And he's really taking care of things from the other side. Could you go back, Richard? I'm feeling really connected to the last screen. To Crystal, that's who it is. And I was seeing you as like darker, longer hair. So that's really interesting. I'm feeling very connected that this is your dad. He has a great attitude, laid back, wonderful personality. When you miss him, he is showing me that you talk to him a lot and he does listen. And I just see lots of tears. Like,
I was just going to say, I see her crying.
Yeah, and he's
and
wiping
stuff.
them. Yeah, and I think you're missing him, but also like he's wiping your tears. And I keep seeing when you cry more in your bedroom, it's kind of your place to let it all out. And he does sit with you on the bed and comforts you. What do you have, lady?
Oh, what I get, I saw tears coming down your face and feeling really stuck about a situation. And what he's coming through saying is that it's not time to make the decision right now, that when the time is right for the right decision, it'll be very easy for you. It'll be like snapping your fingers and be like, oh, thank goodness, now I know what to do. And you'll move forward with ease. Or right now, it's like you're vacillating, you feel stuck. Is this the right thing? Is it the wrong thing? And he's like, just sit and be with it, breathe and wait for the timing to be right. And he will come through and let you know when that is. And he's telling you that he will gently go like this and put his hand on your shoulder. And when you feel some kind of pressure right there on your shoulder, that will be the sign that the answer of the direction you're supposed to take will all of a sudden become very, very clear.
And I am getting to like the emotions are kind of too heightened right now is part of what I'm getting with that too, with what Kristi was saying. It's like not a good time to kind of make any huge life decisions because it feels like emotions things need to calm a little bit. And
it won't necessarily be the right decision if you make it right now.
Yeah.
It'll be more of an emotional decision where if you wait for him to contact you through that hand on the shoulder, then it'll be, oh, okay, it's clear now. I know what to do. And you take a big breath, a sigh of relief, and go in that direction. Yeah, you do miss him so much. Absolutely. Because
your daddy's girl.
Yeah.
I get that really strong. You just said that.
Yeah, and he is so strong on the other side. He's even telling me that you're going to have a better relationship with him on the other side than you even did when he was here. And it's you being open to that because the unconditional love, people think we have it here on this side of the veil, and there really are typically some strings tied to us. It's on the other side that is true unconditional love, and that is what you are feeling from him right now, which is kind of heightening how much you miss him. Is because you're feeling that absolute unconditional love.
Yeah. When you said that, I just had this memory pop up and I have to share it. I had a grandpa that passed at 10, and he came to me about 20 years later when my grandma, his wife, passed away, and he came to me in a dream, and it was exactly the feeling I had in the dream. And he looked sparkly and like alive. Like the only way I can say it is just more alive than I've ever seen anyone here on earth.
Almost translucent.
And yes, and I was in my 30s at the time, but I went back to being kind of that 10-year-old in this like dream, and it was just, I was in awe of the love he had for me, because I have never experienced that feeling like that here on earth, because it is like the most you've ever felt loved on earth times about a million.
Yeah.
And so
It is.
yeah,
It's
I'm
so
glad you
pure.
mentioned that, because
So
that's
pure.
the energy he has for you.
And Crystal, that's what he is sending to you right now, is that absolute pure unconditional love. So just sit with this, sit with his love, feel him embrace you, and he will guide you when it's right, when it's the time to make the right decision for yourself. I hope that was helpful to you. Oh, your mom, wait, hang on. My mom, she has so many doubts if dad is okay. Your dad is more than okay. He's having a good time on the other side.
He has a great personality. He's forceful. His energy is very strong around you. He was literally, so yeah, standing here like I'm talking to my daughter. So he's definitely there, and he's good. He's in heaven, and he's very good. He feels lighthearted to me. All right. Thank you,
Thank
Crystal.
you, Crystal.
I think we'll move along to a question. Yeah, if you want to go ahead and share any questions that you have with us, we would love to answer. Sorry.
What did he?
Oh, share the live stream. Thank you. Please share the live stream. That's what we're asking you to do. You can share the live stream. We want to get as many people as we can.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
So we're working it out. Hey, Matt.
Hi, Matt.
Good evening to you as well. However, here in the middle of the United States, it's like 2:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
We love that. So we're still bright, chipper, awake. Where we're.
We have a question.
Okay, Terry, Angie, Kristi, in your opinion, is it best to follow your gut? I can't see all of it. Let's see. Oh, your gut, heart, or brain, or a mixture of all three. I'm going to go ahead and take the lead on this one, if that's all right. You do need to listen to all three, because we always talk about body, mind, and spirit. And those three always work together. So brain would be your mind, heart is your spirit, gut is your mind. your body. Yes.
Talking to you.
Yeah. Yes. Usually the one, if I listen to my gut, that one is usually the most right on, the most true. But then you do have to balance it out with logic of your brain, and then what is your heart telling you? And it really is all three. Absolutely. I'm so glad you put that together. And everything in life is always body, mind, spirit. It just is. It has to be that balance of the three. And so when something, if your gut is so strong on something, just say, thank you so much. Now let me focus in on my brain. Thank you. Now let me focus in on my heart. And when you get that balance, you get the same answer from all three. Bingo, you have got it.
And absolutely. And Terry, I'm going to give you a little reading to follow Kristi's explanation. I'm really feeling like I have a mother figure around you, Terry. So very nurturing, very motherly. I feel like you've grown a lot on your own journey, and it's like she wants me to tell you to like sit back with that a little bit and really be proud of yourself with that, because this is kind of a reading pertaining to the question. I feel like you've had to grow a lot in that, because your gut is not off. Your gut is your biggest, what I'm tuning into with you, kind of your biggest spiritual messenger for you. And I feel I'm seeing you like younger years, maybe not listening to it as much, or not quite knowing what that is, and that it's a direct connection to the divine. And I feel like as you've grown, you've come into clarity with really understanding that that's really how spirit talks to you. And I also get that sometimes you might have listened to it, and there might have been times where it's like, but I was listening and I don't understand why this was it, the thing. Sometimes we don't really understand, to be honest, is what, why we're led to something, or I thought it was gonna be this and then that didn't end up happening. That's okay. I tell people not to get caught up in that. Okay, you're a grandma. Perfect. She feels very warm. She loved to cook, is what I keep saying. She loved to be in the kitchen. So just know that like you tuning into yourself and following that, I think that's what's going to lead you the most on your own journey through life, and trusting your gut is big for you.
Yeah, and what I'm also getting on that is you're actually quite intuitive, and that comes through your grandmother, through that ancestral lineage. And you want to believe it, but you're not quite sure whether you should. And I'm telling you, yes, absolutely believe it. You have got some pretty strong intuitive gifts, and they're just waiting to show themselves to you, and that it is safe to do so. What I'm getting for you is they show me like a big zipper coming down your front, and it's getting ready to open yourself up to trusting that this is the path that you're supposed to take, because grandma is over on the other side saying, you got it from me, you got it from me. And she did not necessarily embrace it, but she wants you to do that if you choose, because everything is always your choice. You did have experience when you were younger, but told it was all in your mind. Yeah, and that's when people have a tendency to shut down, when they're told that it's all in their mind, that you're crazy, you're this or you're that. The good news is, just because you shut it down, or shut it down a little bit, doesn't mean it can't be opened up again. And that's why I'm seeing that zipper. It says, I do tend to go with my gut, but the heart brain can confuse things sometimes. Yeah, absolutely. Because what's happening to you is, especially with the brain, you go back to old programming, which is, you're crazy, people are going to judge you, that's not right, it's not logical. And usually what I'm getting with you is more, it's not logical for you. So with you, trust that gut first, trust your heart, and then sit and talk to your brain and say, is this old programming? Or, should I be listening to this? Because they are telling me that you are really ready to open up to some of your own intuitive gifts. So, but everything is always your choice. But can you see her solar plexus kind of dancing right now, going, yippee, yay, yay, yay.
Like, it's like validation. This is, yes.
So I hope that was helpful to you, Terry. Open yourself up, let that zipper come down, and let your freak flag fly.
I tell people all the time, I'm like, I don't think that knowing and believing that in spirituality is crazy. I think it's crazy not to. How can you not know that there's energies around and that there's forces trying to help us? It is what it is, right? Energy is everywhere. So I always tell people, don't worry about what people think. That has no place in our lives. It's about living your life for you.
Well, and I used to have some, when I was younger, intuitive experiences, and people would judge me, and so I shut down. And finally, when I claimed it, said, no, this is who I am, and I would tell people, they'd go, oh yeah, that makes sense, yeah, I can see that. I'm like, where were you people 10 years ago? Right. But you have to claim it in yourself first, and then everybody else, well, not everybody, most people will follow suit and support you 100%. And those that don't, they'll just go by the wayside and create space for more support to come in through for you.
Yes.
Big smile here, ladies. Thank you.
Thank you,
Bless
Terry.
you, Terry. All right.
And Richard, I have another spirit here that wants to come through. So we're going to spirit. So I'm going to go ahead and describe the individual that I have standing right behind me. It's a male. He looks younger to me. I see him with like a huge smile, very sweet feeling to me, younger gentleman. I feel like he had more of a tragic passing. So he hasn't exactly shown me what that is yet, although it feels like some sense of maybe an accident or something that was accidental. Very like adorable personality. He's been trying to like almost jumping up and down behind me trying to get my attention. He's wearing jeans, t-shirts, browner hair. I see like more of the just his smile is what sticks out, and his eyes are kind. So I feel like this was a quicker passing, and I keep feeling like there's family that have just been struggling with it. It actually feels to me like he's been gone younger. I'm seeing more teenage, 20 looking gentleman is how old he is. I feel like there was something around his passing that somebody feels guilt about, and I keep seeing a female, so it feels like there might be a female that's on here. Okay, let's see. So Summer, I'm going to tune into that and just let me see if I'm connecting to you for him. I feel.
Does he have, I'm getting somebody with kind of a barrel chest. I don't know if it's the same person or a different spirit.
I'm feeling someone who's more broader shoulder, but I'm not necessarily seeing it. I'm not seeing that, so I don't know that I can really.
I think it might be separate. So,
okay.
So go ahead.
Because he looks younger to me, but just kind of a younger, thinner guy. So I'm just going to continue with the messages. I am feeling a draw to you, Summer. So because his message is really for the family, is what he keeps telling me, that he wants the family um, to know that even though his death looked tragic, I feel like for him, he's good. I also feel this sense of being really kind of carefree and young feeling and happy. Um, so he was older. Okay, I'm seeing someone that's younger, is what I'm seeing, Summer. But they also show up as different ages. So I'm not really worried about that. I'm just going to keep going with it because I feel connected to you. And that is something maybe I should share too. Spirits will come through as different ages. So in heaven, someone could have died at 90 and they're coming through was like, I'm happy to be young and 20 again. So I'm not really so worried about that because I'm feeling the energy. So I feel like there's this sense of there's something about people feeling like they couldn't let go, or there's a guilt that has been carried, I feel like, for a while for his passing. And he just feels so lighthearted to me. Like he feels really kind of ornery, fun, almost like a jokester, goofy feeling to me. And I feel like that's what he wants to come through with, because I feel like he wants you all to know that you need to remember him that way. That's what I keep getting. I feel like there's this sadness about he's gone instead of, wow, he lived an awesome life. And I feel like he was really there for people, loved his family very much, kind of would be there for anybody, give people the shirt off his back, very just solid person. And so I feel like that's how he wants to be remembered. And then the other thing that I'm getting as well is that he's gathered with loved ones in heaven. So I feel like he knows plenty of people on the other side, because I'm just saying like spirits milling around behind him. So he's not alone. He doesn't want anyone to feel like he is. And although I feel like it was a difficult passing and hard to accept, he has accepted it. I get that super strong. He's funny. I feel like he likes to flicker lights. He likes to kind of music is what I'm seeing. I even get really strong, like wants to, and I'm getting this specifically for you. He wants to almost like sometimes maybe you're a little clumsy or something, because I keep seeing him trying to like touch the back of your shoe or make you like stumble just a little bit. And I feel like he's wanting you to pay attention that he's there with you. That's what I'm getting around him.
He's killed by a drunk driver, and he was the funny uncle. Yeah. So
yeah, he's really sweet.
Mm-hmm. I'm not so much tuning into him because I've got somebody.
Yep, so
I've got somebody else here.
Thank you, Summer. I just want to end that and say thank you. I'm sorry for your loss. I hope that helps you.
Yeah, because I do get that he's in a good space.
Yeah, and he looks young, now. So I think he's young.
Mm-hmm. And he's got this effervescence about him. That's all I'm getting. Yeah.
So Kristi's going to go on to another spirit.
Oh, your dad is up there with him. Okay. The spirit that I am getting coming through, I keep hearing the word brother, brother, brother. So this is a brother to someone who's here tonight. It actually might be connected to somebody else. Like if there's somebody here whose mother had a brother who died, but I keep hearing the word brother. And this would be a bigger gentleman, and he's got what I call a kind of a barrel chest. And so this person, it feels like he would have passed from something associated with the heart. So this could be a heart attack, but again, this would be a really light-hearted kind of, I get the jovial energy from him. And he's just kind of like, his passing would have been a surprise too, because he's just like, oh, you didn't expect that, did you? And it was actually his time to pass, and he didn't want to linger. So this would have been a very quick passing, and it does feel very strong that it is attached to the heart, and like I said, a bigger chested man. So he's even showing me like this bigger chest, but he's got little skinny legs coming off of that. So if somebody can connect with that, I would appreciate. So can you tune into this gentleman?
I am not, but Tony's saying my Uncle Nick.
Okay. So, and your Uncle Nick, this would have been a brother to I'm not getting, it's either your mom or your dad. I'm not tuning into which one, but brother makes sense then. Carol, my late brother was a bit of a joker. Things happen around my house. My parents and two of my brothers also passed. Okay, I'm tuning in more to Carol here. So I'm getting, let's tune into your brother. Would one of your brothers be your older brother who was big and passed with a heart attack? Yeah, that's the one that's coming through right now, Carol. Thank you for responding to that. Because I just get this jokester sense of humor with him. And he was like, everybody be gathered together, and he'd be the one kind of almost taking a step back and just laughing, and kind of a dry sense of humor, but he was just so funny, and everybody loved him. He'd enter the room and everybody had to turn and look, because he just had a big presence about him, and he did have a bigger chest, and yeah, he did die with a heart attack. He's telling me that he actually had symptoms before that, but he just kind of wrote it off. It's like, oh, I'm fine. Oh, it's a little something. And so when this heart attack happened, it surprised him as much as it surprised everybody else. But he had, was it his dad? There's an older gentleman that was waiting, because I usually see a portal and somebody leading through that portal. So this would have been an older gentleman. I can't tell whether it was his dad or his grandfather. That part's not clear. Yes, he was always joking, which lit up the room. And that's what he's doing to me right now, is just kind of laughing. Like, it's just so, you didn't think you were going to be picked today. And he's like, haha, why do you think you actually joined today? And because he was pushing you to join and listen to us today, because he wanted to come through, and he said, isn't this a good joke too? So that's what he's always doing. Yeah, and he is coming through on the other side. And I don't know what this means. He's showing me like a fruit tree and things falling down off the fruit. So I don't know if that's literal, or if it's something that things are dropping, things are falling, like, that don't really make sense. Yes, a few days before he had symptoms, and our dad and granddad. Okay, so it was probably both your dad and your granddad that were reaching through this portal, helping him cross over. And it's just like, when that heart attack happened, he's just like, and he looked up and he saw his dad and his grandfather up there, and he's like, oh my God, he was so excited to see them. So there was no fear associated with this. There was just nothing but joy to be able to join those people that he loved. And oh, you planted an apple tree this summer. Okay,
there you go.
That's what I'm saying. He's acknowledging, yeah, a fruit tree, and that is just a validation that it absolutely is him. And he's like, he is funny, because he's telling me that it probably won't be this year, it'll be next year, that some of that fruit is going to fall off the tree, and one's going to kind of clunk you on the head, and that's going to just be a big hello from heaven from your brother. Oh, how sweet is that? Oh, so Carol, please give that message. He's telling me to the rest of the family. He's not pointing out one particular individual, but he said, please give that message to the rest of the family, that he's with Dad, he's with grandfather. And
keep saying your mom. And she keeps wanting me to to say hi to you, your mother, Carol.
Yeah. And yeah, it was a shock, because it was just, I get that it was just so sudden and really unexpected. Because symptoms, it's like, oh, he'll go to the doctor and get it fixed. It's like, yeah, no time for that. So please give that message of love from your brother, from the other. Sorry, I keep getting messages, because Dad and Granddad are coming through now too. It's like, yeah, wait a minute, don't forget about us. Hello, it's not just from him. That the three of them are together. Like creating this line of, I just want to call it a line of happy.
Yeah.
That they are all together and able to communicate to you today and just send you absolute nothing but love and light. Oh.
I'm also getting that this is your mom, Carol. She keeps showing me the children and then grandchildren. So she's really all about the grandchildren. I feel like she has grandchildren here. And then I'm even seeing, as your family continues to grow, she really loves making sure that they're on the right path. But she feels super warm to me. Like, she just really wants you to know she's happy to be home with the loved ones that she's with, but also really stays close and connected to the loved ones here. There's a younger, I feel like, girl I'm seeing. I don't know if you have a daughter, but I keep seeing what feels like to me would be a granddaughter that she just enjoys and is happy with the path that she's on. I feel like this girl feels kind of brave, and we talk about brave. There you go, the brave word, but tenacious. Like, she has a plan and a path for herself, and she's the cheerleader for her to do what she wants to do in her life. And so it's like these wings, spread the wings, let her fly. Like, it's time for her to kind of do what she wants to do with her life, is what I'm getting.
Yeah.
I feel complete with that.
So she got Mom, and I got like the good old boys club over here.
Yeah. I think they were taking over. She's like, maybe I can get in with this one.
Because obviously I wasn't paying attention. I was paying attention to the guys. Yeah. Carol, I hope that was helpful to you. Okay, Richard, we're ready for the next question.
Thank you, Carol.
Her granddaughter dances and sings all the time.
Aww,
actually, what I feel with your granddaughter, we're not quite finished here, is that the granddaughter is actually a starseed, and she's here on a very, very special mission. And that means the veil between this world and next world is very, very thin for her. And so she's going to have some spiritual experiences herself, but she's here on a very special mission.
She's like a ray of sunshine to me. That's how your mom looks at her. Very sweet, special girl.
Yeah, and her connection to spirit is through dance and through song. That's how she connects. A lot of people might do it through gardening, other people, but she's doing it through song and dance. Okay, June. Just the only question is, why don't I dream of my dad? I have with the other family members. Yeah, it
happens sometimes.
Yeah, it really does. And what I'm hearing is that your dad has been trying to come through, and for some reason, it's like the connection just isn't quite there yet. It's like tuning into a radio station and there's still some static. But your dad, he's taking this opportunity right now to come through, to say hi, because he is trying to come through in as a visitation to you at night. It's just, I keep seeing like, the connection just isn't quite there. Are you tuning into this?
I am, but I also feel he's here in this sense of, like you said, and I feel this sense of you did a lot for him, is what I'm saying. I almost feel like you were a caretaker of his or helped him a lot in life, and so I feel like it's really confusing to you because you're close, is what I'm getting. So it's like, well, if I'm that close to him, why isn't that happening? Sometimes so one of the things I love about talking to spirit, they have senses of humor, just like they did here, and they're funny. And I'm just getting from it's like harder than what you think. Like it's not always just so easy to pop right in, right? We think that it should be, but I also feel like spirits are better at different things. So some people are better at messing with electricity. Some people are better at dropping coins. Some people are better about sending a certain sign that they say. Some people are good with dreams. I just don't think that that's necessarily his strong suit. Is also partly what I'm getting. I feel like he has tried, but that's not necessarily what he's like good at. Plus, I feel like he's still trying to learn and trying to do it, and he will keep trying. But you were good to him, and I feel like he just wants you to know he's by your side. So just because you haven't had a dream of him doesn't mean he's not there all the time. I actually see him sitting with you a lot, and you would like visit and sit with him. I keep seeing like even sitting at a kitchen table talking, and he keeps showing me he still meets you there. So maybe go ahead and like switch that up just a little bit of instead of looking for the dream to come, because it'll come when it comes. Look at more of creating like a special place with your dad that you can connect to him on your own during the hours at night, sitting kind of having a cup of tea or something at a table with dad and inviting him in and trusting that he will be there. I think that that's how he really wants to connect with you.
He's showing me what he's calling a special chair. So I don't know if he had a chair that he called his own, or create a space for him with a special chair, but he's telling me that you will feel his energy if you create a special chair for him or acknowledge a special chair.
I love that. Yeah, and a lot of times if you have a space to like to sit, that's a perfect space to kind of sit and connect to the person. But I also feel like he feels so free, so happy to be on the other side, lady, that I feel like part of it, he's enjoying heaven. I feel like he went through a path at the end of his life. I feel like he had an illness or there were some health issues that were pretty, I feel like, severe, to where he feels so darn happy to me. Like, just like, I'm doing my thing up here and I feel so good now. And I'm out of that body.
Yeah, I can breathe, I can move.
I feel like he's good with where he's at. Like, he loves to visit and all of those things, but he's enjoying. It's almost like the reward for him on being like steadfast on his journey, especially at the end with whatever illness it was, is like being home and having true peace and freedom. So he's just living it up. He's soaking it up right now.
What he did tell me, June, is that a way that might help to connect with him, because he's telling me when you're trying to connect with him, it's like, please, 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 oh, I just really want to hear, and it's coming, and that's actually a little bit lower vibration. And so raise your vibration. I think it's going to help that connection. And the way you raise that vibration would be, oh, Dad, I'm so excited to hear from you. Thank you so much for coming through. Thank you so much for showing up today. And can you feel the difference in the vibration in that? Alzheimer's, yeah. Hi. But if you do that with him and come with gratitude and expectation that he's going to be there, that's helping you raise your vibration rather than coming from that place of want and need. And he said that will help fine tune that connection.
And that is so important, because when you think about heaven, heaven is high vibing energy. The other side is love, light, like we talked about. And when we get in a place of fear or scarcity, or a little bit, sometimes even we can be a little bit just so worried and fearful that that's not going to happen, almost desperation energy. Mm-hmm. That doesn't really help connect to spirit, because they're not vibing at that level. And so I love what you said. I think that's important, because even when we do these sessions, we meditate, we get in a really good energetic space for ourselves, so that we can easily connect into their high vibing. Mm-hmm. So I think that's really good. And like knowing he's there, like without a doubt, he's there. You don't, and I keep getting from, so you don't really need like one sign. It's more knowing and feeling his energy in your heart, and knowing, of course, he's by your side. He loves you very, very much. Mm-hmm. You were a big part of his life, is what I'm saying. And you really, I get kind of like doted on you. You were really special to him.
Yeah, and I'm getting that, but I'm also getting some apologies from him, that there were times that he was a little bit harsh, and that was because of the illness. That wasn't him. And he said, I want you to know that it was the illness. For the times that I was harsh with you, the times that I felt ungrateful, he goes, please know that that was the illness. That was not me. And I'm hoping that you can have compassion and understand that, and know that I appreciate everything you did in taking care and making sure I was taken care of. And he goes, I have nothing but love and gratitude for you. And I just want to come through. He goes, I'm not actually asking for forgiveness. I'm just creating some clarity for you to understand why some of those unkind things would come out of my mouth on occasion. That it was the illness, not me. Mm-hmm. So June, I hope that was helpful. Do you have anything else?
I don't. I feel complete with that. Thank you, June. I hope that helps you.
Yes. Okay, Richard, we are ready for the next question. Oh, yeah. Boy, there's some, I'm getting heavy energy, but I'm also getting love, just so much energy. Okay, so from Ashley, when you connect to the other side, was most mediums see the spirit, and how does the spirit know the form to take when connecting, if there are other past lives? Well, that's a good question. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the way I try to wrap my head around it, because it can be difficult, is that we have got source, which I call it, which is God, and we are all a piece of divinity. So we split off from source as that piece of divinity, and that is our soul. And then that soul can split off to a spirit living this life, a spirit living this life, which are all those other past lives. And so that's why the soul remembers everything, because it's pieces of the spirit. So when this spirit comes to the end of that life, it goes back to soul. When this one dies, it goes back to soul. When all of those lives, which we call now past lives, go back to soul, then soul goes back to source, or goes back to God. And every medium is different, and Angie can talk about how she sees things. I always say, and maybe if you're in England, that it doesn't get as hot as it does here in the middle of the United States. But typically the way I see spirit is going down an asphalt highway in July, when it's so hot and there's just those little vibes kind of thing, and where it shows up. Because it's on the right side of the family is mom's side of the family for me. On the left side is dad's side of the family. And wherever I see that vibration, if it's at the shoulder, I know it's a parent. It's up here, it's a grandparent, great-grandparent. Off to the side are aunts or uncles, and below would be children, spouses, and siblings. And then once I say, has your mother passed, because I'm seeing that over the right shoulder, then they will put pictures in my head. And it's typically of their energy more than the way they looked. And that's the way it works for me. How does it work for you?
Yeah, so for me, if you're familiar with all the clairs, I am clairvoyant, so I do get a lot of pictures in my head. Even I'll have like what looks like little movie screens playing for me when they're communicating with me, and I'll just watch those visions. Sometimes I close my eyes because I see things clear. Even sometimes I see spirit a little clearer that way. And then I also feel what they feel, so clairsentience. I also hear them sometimes, so clairaudience with that. So that's kind of some of my bigger gifts. But as far as the way spirit looks to me, I see them in my third eye. So a lot of times when I'm doing a reading, I actually, not a lot of times, always when I'm doing a reading, I will look off wherever they're standing in the room because I see them. To me, they don't necessarily show up like they do for Kristi on the side. They're just kind of gather around us, and wherever they are, I just go to them. It's almost like I'm just sitting in a room and we're all just talking, just like if there was a little gathering. And for me, it's just, oh, somebody's there, I know that, and I connect into them. Sometimes I see more of an outline of their body. It can sometimes be more of the energy of them, and that maybe more of like a shadowy look for me. Other times I can physically see them, but it's more in my third eye. So I see what they look like, or they might flash up just a really like quick picture of what they looked like, and then I describe them from that as well. And sometimes I've actually literally been in a room and describing someone's husband at a reading, at an event, and a man walked by right after I described what her husband looked like, and then he faded away. And I almost said, excuse me, sir, I like rented this space today for like one-on-one sessions, but it was her husband walking by. And that has happened to me more rarely, where I see something so physical, I even myself don't know that that's not someone actually walking by me, but that's more rare. And so I guess I say all of that to say each spirit's a little different too for me. They're not all the same in how they present themselves or how they connect to me. And I think that goes back to when people are wanting something specifically from a loved one, or this loved one can do it this way, but this loved one isn't. Spirits, they get through to us how they can, and it takes both my abilities and me being kind of in that space, and them knowing how to connect to me, me knowing how to connect to them. I think it's a partnership way more than what we recognize with mediumship.
Well, and I love that you said that, because a lot of people think when we say, well, I'm seeing this or I'm hearing that, that it is very rare to see something out here. We see things we don't see with our eyes, we see with our head.
Yeah, we see with our third eye.
Yeah. And we don't hear with our ears, we hear with our head. Yeah. So would an energy vision be from someone who has passed longer ago over a physical being? Not necessarily, because it's different for every spirit and it's different for every medium. And here, I'm going to give you a personal example, because I don't see as often as Angie does, I don't see outside the real thing. One time it did happen to me was with my father. And he had had a stroke. He was living in a different state. And so I was waiting for my plane to leave, and he walked in the room, and I was talking with a friend, just said I need a friend to talk to while I'm waiting for my plane. And I said, oh my gosh, my dad just showed up. And she was so cool. She says, what's he wearing? I said, he's got blue jeans on, he's got a V-neck t-shirt, he's got a cap on. And she said, well, what's he doing? I said, he's deciding whether to live or die. She said, well, what's he going to decide? I said, he's going to die, but not till March. And I was getting all of that energy physically in front of me, not with my third eye. And then I caught the plane and went to Phoenix, Arizona with him. And sure enough, it was March 3rd that he ended up passing. So I think he knew this was his time, and he just happened to come through to me in, just the most fascinating way.
Because you can get messages from people who are living, and sometimes their higher self is what I tend to think that is. Soul self comes to us and makes a visitation so they can prepare us for what's going to happen.
Yeah, it was, because this was in February, the end of February, that he came through. And so on the plane ride down there, I just at least I'll get to say goodbye. I'll get to talk to him, which I did. Yeah. And he waited then a week until everybody left, and then he died that night.
Wow.
On March 3rd.
He did it his way, is what I'm picking up on with that.
Well, it was so cool, because a year later, my two sisters were coming down to visit me. And I kept seeing the numbers 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. And I thought, well, two sisters, is it the three of us coming together? I couldn't quite figure it out. And then my sisters sent me a picture, and they were at the cemetery and took a picture of my dad's headstone, March 3rd, 3-3. And so he kept sending me that he was going to be with them on their journey to come and see me, and he was going to be with his three daughters.
Wow.
March 3rd. 3-3. Isn't that cool?
Amazing.
So they show up in the most fascinating ways.
Sometimes it's just deciphering and discerning what that message truly is. And sometimes we can receive messages and we don't always, it doesn't come to fruition or understanding until later.
Yeah. That's so what sign does your dad send you?
Oh goodness, I love sharing this. So my dad passed away 12 years ago, and so he's why I do what I do, and he's my partner in crime on the other side. and he sends me pennies. So pennies has always been our thing, and I'm not going to go on and on about it. I've received so many pennies since he's been gone, and it's when I ask him, I've literally said, Dad, I'm going to the gas station, I'm stopping there, I need my dad penny. It's there. Not when I go into the gas station, but when I come out, there's a penny there. One day I was walking, I love this story, I was walking outside the gas station, and I saw this little piece of, I thought it was a dime actually at first, and so I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to go pick that dime up. I think that's from somebody. Walk up closer, there's nothing on it, it's just a little piece of metal. And I was walking past it, and I heard in my head, pick that up, it's from your dad. So I thought, oh, I'm going to listen, right? I always listen, that's the thing. And so I get in the car, and I thought, why would my dad send me this little piece of metal? And I turn it over, and it said, I heart you on it. It was like something that fell off a keychain or something for someone, I heart you. So I've had so many magical moments. The most recent one, I just went on vacation over my birthday, and we landed at the airport, and I said, Dad, and just to myself silently, I said, Dad, I just want to know you're here for my birthday, so send me my dad penny is what I call them. And I'm walking on the beach the next day, and I'm walking with my partner, we're talking about our loved ones from heaven. A wave crashes in, I kid you not. I look down, there's a penny right in between my feet. And so I picked that up. So he's magical. I love it.
One of my favorite stories about her dad is her dad had a twin brother who is also deceased. And so sometimes she will find two pennies, one from dad and one from uncle.
Yeah, I call them my twin pennies because they're twins.
Yeah.
And so they're my twin pennies. And I found those the first time, maybe 2 days after my uncle had passed. Found my first twin pennies. So yeah, it's pretty amazing. So we love our signs, ask for them. I think that's another thing that's really important, is that we have that direct communication. You can come to a medium, we love what we do, but I always want to teach and like tell people you have this gift within you too, and we all are connected to the other side. One of the things I think our loved ones love is when we ask them for specific things and we give them little tasks. Do this for me. We don't look for it right away. Just let it go. Ask for it, let it go, and it will magically appear. Yeah. And that to me is what I live for.
Oh, let's see, Sharon, my husband found a bag of pennies on his birthday, but where they came from, we just don't know. I think his mom sent them from heaven. Yeah, I'm hearing pennies from heaven. And I think pennies is a really common sign from the other side. And exactly that, pennies from heaven. What I'm getting is that it was from his mom, and she's like leveling up. Because I was hearing that even when you were talking about your dad is like, I'm leveling up, I'm leveling up. And it wasn't just a penny, it's like, I gotcha. Here's a whole bag of pennies. So don't be surprised if now she levels up again, is what I'm hearing from her, is that she's going to level up and start sending some nickels, some dimes, and that's U.S. currency. So it'll be the currency that you have, but it'll be more silver rather than the pennies in there. But and she's laughing. I can see her laughing right now. And you know, understand that they really do have a huge sense of humor, and a lot of times it's a little twisted.
I think they look down at us and they remember. I remember those days when I took things so seriously. They're not that energy anymore. I think sometimes I joke. My spirit guides probably are like, girl, for being a medium, you're not listening very well. Because it's sometimes easier to tune into what other people need, right? Like looking at yourself. So Taylor has a question for us. I'd love a message from spirit if they have one. I saw a spirit standing at my door the other day, and my spirit guide said, I'll see this spirit again next weekend. Just wondering if I got the correct message. I'm getting yes. I feel like you need to just really trust yourself. So part of connection and mediumship is trust. I mean, we will teach that and preach that, because if you don't trust yourself, you're gonna be too afraid to really like open up even further, right? So I am getting, you heard that right. I'm actually feeling a very angelic energy with the spirit is what I'm feeling. And I keep getting this strong sense of like you starting to really, I see cards for you, but they look more like, you know, angel, an oracle type of a card. And I'm feeling like there's an angel that's been around you that will be visiting you again. I feel it's female. It really feels like Archangel Ariel to me, is what I'm getting on that. But you did hear your message, correct?
Yeah, I'm getting the same thing, that this is an archangel, and what she's here to tell you is that there's something coming up in your life, and what I'm getting is that there's going to be a crossroads coming up for you, that your life is going to, there's almost like a magical thing that's going to happen, and that doesn't mean, you know, magical. It can be something soft and subtle, but it's going to be an integral twist in your life that is going to maybe put you on a little bit different path, but it is going to be incredibly joyful for you. And I'm getting that your spirit will be full. And she is wrapping her wings, her arms around you, saying that it is going to be, it's not only going to be okay, but the next time you see her, you're going to go, oh, this is what she was talking about. This is so awesome.
Take your ride. I keep getting take your adventure.
Yeah.
Take what you're wanting to walk through the door with. Because I feel like a part of the reason that you saw it at the door, there's like a door gonna open.
Yeah.
It feels actually more like a spiritual door to me, or just believing in yourself, being ready to really like stand out and really put your voice out there. Because I'm seeing really strong your throat chakra and being able to like speak your truth, be who you are, and walk through the door that's gonna open. It's almost like a door of opportunity. And that's where there's like a door. Don't be afraid of walking forward.
Yeah,
and we've actually walked through, you can walk through a spiritual door. I mean, we've actually had that when we've done sessions with each other. I'll never forget the time you said there was a door. I think it was under hypnosis, maybe with me.
Could be.
Where there was a door that was open. It's like, come through the door.
Oh, yeah.
And that wasn't very long ago. So there's
symbolic.
gateways, right? Like spiritual openings, portals that open. And walking through a spiritual door, it's more about your energy and about what you allow yourself to be, who you are, the ascension. I mean, we could talk about the spiritual ascension all day that we've been going through for quite a long time now, but that's all part of that. What realms do you want to be in? What energy do you want to create for yourself? What frequency do you want to vibe in? That's what I'm getting.
Taylor, I'm going to get kind of personal, like we haven't been already.
Yeah, we are.
Because I'm looking at your picture, and what I'm seeing, I'm looking through your eyes, and I'm seeing there's a deep sadness there in your eyes. And I think when that door that we were just talking about, the spiritual door, I think that might be today that's opening up for you. Because when I look in your eyes and I see this sadness, I think it is a past life energy that you have brought into this lifetime. And it's like you can't quite get past it because you don't know it exists. And because what I'm getting with you is that you are a natural healer. And I see this more and more and more often, that there are healers that come, and they can come with many shapes, sizes, talents, whatever. But back in past lives, a lot of us were burned at the stake. We were hanged, we were dragged, we were tortured as healers. So we come into this life and we're afraid to claim that in ourselves because of that energy that we've brought with us. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a release right now that I'd like you, if you can, write it down, and I want you to repeat it 3 times. We're not going to do that today, but it is the fear of expressing myself as the beautiful healer I am no longer serves me in this or any other lifetime, and I release it now. So if you can, repeat that 3 times, and I know you can go back and re-listen to this again if you didn't get the whole thing, but I'm getting that you've brought that scared energy over, that you're going to be tortured, hurt, heckled, something, if you express yourself, because I feel like you've really kept that close to the chest for yourself, and it's time. The spirit around me is from my past life, and I think that's angelic thing too. Is it's time for you to eliminate, release that fear, and put that stake in the ground and claim who you came here to be, and that is a healer. And I don't. They're telling me that it doesn't matter how that looks, so it's not a specific way. It is going to be your choice, because I feel like there's a lot of directions that you could take with that, with being a healer, but it is, it's being in service to others. So I hope that resonates with you, Taylor. Are you getting anything else from that?
I feel really complete with that. Like, that was a beautiful way to wrap that up.
Yeah, so just release that fear, because people don't understand it. It's because it's a past life. Of course you don't understand it. But when I get those blocks, it's like, okay, that's past life energy. It's time to get rid of that. That's the doorway.
Yeah, and that's a whole nother level of healing when you start digging into your past lives and saying, even those past life traumas are not going to stop me in this life. I'm living this life for this life. But then also there's healing that can be done around that, so that you don't have to hold on to those old attachments. Because we're in a different time and energy. We're in a different space. Like all of us, I say the ones that came before us, right? The spiritual beings. But we probably are those spiritual beings that came before us. We're just living a new life, right? So I feel like that's just, even we've done a lot of that kind of work on our own to be able to be at this place where we're really able to just use our gifts and be not in, I feel like sometimes with past lives, you're kind of in this weird space between, why do I feel this way in this life? What's going on with me that I'm afraid, because nothing's necessarily happened in this life. A lot of times those triggers from past lives, they'll just bite you.
Yeah.
So, but you can work through that and you can heal from that and you can overcome that.
And I see that with a lot of people with physical illnesses. I've been to every doctor and nobody can figure out what it is. It's like ding, 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 ding. It's a past life thing and it's activating in this life. So I see that with physical illness. There's emotional illnesses. There's just blocks of, why do I keep doing this over and over? Why can't I learn? It's because you brought it over.
But the exciting part is you can heal from it and you can move on from that. You don't have to spin on that same old record.
Yeah, it's true. So I've recently dug into a past life because the spirit is around me and I feel so much better since doing it. Yeah, I'm so glad you're doing that with that past life stuff. And a lot of people do it for fun. I want to figure this out. It's like, that's all well and good, but to me, that's just a whole different level of spirituality. When you're digging into past lives, do it to heal this life. Because I will tell you, when you heal that past life energy to go forward in this life, you're also healing ancestral trauma. You've healed the people that have gone before you. And most people don't understand that.
And you're healing your soul. You're healing that part of you that's everlasting, that's always been with you and always will be there. And you're fully healing those traumas that you've been through. And I know for us, we see visions of past lives when we do readings for people as well, for past life healing and clearing as well. So we both do that too. Thank you, Taylor. Thanks for bringing that up. That was a really interesting question. It's an interesting path that took us on.
Yeah. Embrace your spirit, embrace the angel that's around you, and walk through the door.
Yes.
Okay, you're watching from New Zealand. Oh, it's 8 a.m. Good morning. Thank you for joining us all the way from New Zealand. I'm guessing NZ is New Zealand.
Yeah, I think so.
Do our loved ones see what we've been through our lives when they pass?
Absolutely. They are with us. So when we do readings, our loved ones are there with us. They see everything. I always tell people, they saw a lot less when they were here living among us because they see all kinds of stuff now. I mean, I literally in readings people say, this is what my loved one was just thinking. So I want to tell them exactly what they were just thinking on the way here. Things like that come up all the time. So not only can they see what's going on with us, they can hear what's going on with us. That's telepathy, right? That's a part of spiritual connection as well, is that they can hear our thoughts. That's why when you're talking to your loved ones, it doesn't really matter if you're talking out loud verbally or not, just talking in your head, they can hear you. And so absolutely that connection is always there. And that's where they want to come through and help guide us. That's why when people connect, it's a lot of guidance that wants to come through. It's a lot of direction. And sometimes loved ones in heaven can sound a lot wiser than they did here. And I think that's because there's an evolution when you connect. They are wiser. They are more evolved there, right? A lot of the struggles, they're not there. And they can have a sense or a feeling for what would be best for you in that moment. I think a lot of times what happens is that sometimes we say it's our spirit team or our spirit guides that are kind of beating us over the head when we're making bad decisions. I think a lot of times it's those closest to us too. That's like, a dad, a grandma, a friend, whatever it may be. What are you doing? You're asking me for help. I'm trying to guide you and you're still doing the same thing over and over again. So yeah, they're very aware.
And Tony, what I'm picking up for you is that there's some guilt and shame in your past that you didn't express to your loved ones on the other side, and they are coming through right now, and I'm getting a small group of them, and they're coming through with nothing but compassion for you, saying there's nothing to feel guilt about, there's nothing to feel shame about, that we love you, love you, love you. The decisions you made were that they were right for you at the time. So it is time to release any guilt and shame that you're carrying through with some decisions that you had to make in the past.
I'm glad you brought that up because there's no judgment in heaven. Our loved ones just want the highest and best good for us. And even no matter what we're doing in the current moment, all I've ever gotten is love. Sometimes the spirit will come through with like a little wake up call, but there's no judgment. There's love and people want the best for your path.
Yeah, they do. So
yeah,
so let go of that.
Yeah, thank you, Tony.
Thanks, Tony. All right, we're finished for today.
Yes, we are. Thank you all so much for joining us. We cannot thank you enough. We feel like our second month here. It was a good one. So we can't wait to be with you again in 2 months. We are so excited to be with you, Richard, and with this whole group of people. I'm telling you, today I can feel the high vibe and energy for people watching. Like, this is a very spiritual group, so we feel blessed to be a part of it.
I feel like there's some big healing that happened today.
I sure hope so. I'm feeling it too, almost like a weight off. So I think while we wrap it up, I'm just going to give a reminder of who I am, and I'll let Kristi do the same. So I'm Angie Montgomery. I'm a medium. I also do work with past life readings. I do Reiki energy healing and also hypnosis for past lives. I can be found at angiemontgomery.com. So again, that's angiemontgomery.com. Also on Facebook, I'm under Angie Montgomery. So if you want to like my page, I go live on my own as well. I'd love to see you there. And then the lovely Kristi.
I'm Kristi Peterson, and you can see the name of where we're at because you can spell it 100 different ways. I too am a psychic medium and a Reiki master and an author. So I gotta promote my book. My latest book is called Between Earth and Heaven: A Beginner's Guide to Living a Spiritual Life. And this really addresses some of the questions that we got for you all tonight. And it's, what is it like to be a psychic medium? What do some of these messages mean? And then I go over the top 24 alternative healing modalities with a brief explanation of them, so you can go, ooh, I know where to go deeper now, or yeah, maybe next time this doesn't really have an interest for me. So it is for all those people having new spiritual experiences and they don't know where to go or where to start. So start with this book. You can get it on Amazon, Between Earth and Heaven: A Beginner's Guide to Living a Spiritual Life. All right, thank you all. Thank you. Thanks, Kelly.
And thank you, Richard. And we can't wait to be back with you again in 2 quick months. So thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Tomorrow night from 8 p.m, SPtv is joined by another guest who will be demonstrating their mediumship abilities by offering free readings to our viewers. MySpiritualDirectory.com is one of the fastest growing online free listing service. Our search directory offers geolocation feature, rating ability, review system, map location, customer comment, YouTube video, gallery, social media sharing, direct contact with the lister, simple online booking and payment system. It's free to register and use. It even creates your own mini web page, which you can update at any time, and yes, it's still free, no monthly or yearly fees. 100% free. Creates your own profile page. Add social media and other links. Add a mini gallery and a YouTube video. Rating, reviews and comments. Includes online booking and payments. So, if you're looking for a medium or a reader, even a church, maybe a healer, or any other spiritual service, then visit myspiritualdirectory.com. My Spirit Life is a free online interactive magazine for those who have an interest in improving their spiritual lives. Authors can upload images, videos, and audio clips to their own articles. The public can place comments, rate the article, and follow the author. All articles are vetted before being published. For more information and to place your own article, please visit myspiritlife.co.uk.
Are you planning a paid spiritual event, or looking for something to do this weekend? Then visit myspiritualevents.com. You can browse the listing, view the event details, watch a YouTube clip, look at a mini gallery, select dates and times, pay for tickets using PayPal or your debit card. Organizers can register for free and start selling tickets within minutes, be it for their online or in-person spiritual event. As an organizer, you will have access to your own admin dashboard, which will display information such as your income and your bookings, all in a simple and user-friendly display. It's free to use. Join and upgrade to an organizer. Come and visit us at myspiritualevents.com.